just mic'd up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J. Mitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up, and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there. He's punching me in the stomach, like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Chico can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad Jones.
6 minutes.
For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Chico can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
The Spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
you heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time for the show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you gonna bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it.
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they just.
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now. Hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Wednesday, January 17th. Wednesday, hump day.
Ooh.
We have a big show for you today. It is Wednesday. The ice storm is finally melting.
The great freeze.
People are starting to be able to get out on the road without having to slip and slide all over the place. Interstates open back up. Things are starting to be normalized right in time for this weekend to freeze again. But that's a couple days away. It's warmed up a little bit. It has been very, very frigid. But we are here to warm you up. And we are here to have a great show. Obviously, it is Wednesday, and we are looking forward to our show. One, because our friend of the show, guest of the show.
Dad.
Your dad. Jay Johnson coming on the show via video call at 6:15. Talk everything LSU baseball, kind of get us back into the swing of things of baseball season. A lot of conversation that we want to have with him. Not necessarily about who's going to do this, who's going to do that. I think there's a lot to be
explored,
determined, right? You still have to kind of work those things out. You still have to go through practice and get ready for the season. But it's a whole different offseason. He's never had to go through an offseason like this. He's never won a national championship. How has that been different? How has trying to get these new guys on the team to kind of buy into whatever the message is going into this season, because every year is a little different. We're going to get into that. Obviously, this Sunday is the first pitch banquet. We're going to be there.
We'll be there.
I think we're going to be there.
Right?
We're going to be there.
We'll be live.
We're supposed to be live at 6 to 6:45. The problem with this situation
No problem.
is our producer, the show cannot go on without the producer, tells me
10 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago
6.5.
that he is going to be in Lake Alexandria for a Mardi Gras ball.
Gaudia, baby. Biggest one of the year. Can't hold anything back.
And he's going to wake up. He said, I'm going to leave around 9 to get to Baton Rouge around noon, which we were supposed to be setting up early so that we didn't have to deal with it the rest of the day. But now I'm a little nervous that he's not going to be here in time. He says he promises he's going to be here. I'm talking about I need you here at 1 o'clock.
Faculty is all
Latest.
in touch.
Latest at 1
It's called
o'clock.
public accountability, right?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what's going on.
We will see what happens. Regardless, we have a show from 6 to 6:45. If not, I'll find somebody in there that can figure it out. And then after that,
Joe's a phone call away.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. After that, me and Jared will get the honor of going on the stage in front of all of you people, all of the fans, all of our friends, and to be able to interview one of our other friends, a teammate of mine at LSU, a big leaguer, and Kevin Gosman. He's going to there's no keynote speaker anymore, but he's going to kind of give the speech, or I guess be the entertainment of the night. And instead of him just getting up there and speaking, they thought it'd be a really cool thing for me and Jared to go up there and kind of have a conversation with him and just kind of, warm him up, talk about some things, talk about professional baseball, talk about LSU, talk about what it meant for him to come back. He still lives here, all those types of things. So we're looking forward to it. We're very excited about this weekend. But we're also very excited about our conversation with our friend Jay here in about 8 minutes. Before we get to him, we are watching the LSU basketball game. They are playing at home against number 22 ranked Ole Miss. Believe it or not, LSU is favored about 3.5 points. They're down 7-3 right now, but they are playing at home in the PMAC, favored about 3.5. And this is a big win. This is a big game for them. They could go out here and win this game, put themselves in a position where they're now 3-1 in conference. They have a win on the road against A&M, who was a big win. They just beat Kentucky. And then you come home and you play against a ranked Ole Miss team and you beat them, who they're 15-1, I believe. So, big game, big opportunity for the Tigers. That's not good. They got the turnover and then turned it back over.
Easy bucket.
9-3. It's okay. It's okay.
Hey, what's a win without a little adversity?
Look, listen, it's early in the game. Early in the game.
Not nothing for us.
What?
9-0 for us.
It is 9-0 for us.
First bet of the LSU basketball season.
First, yes.
We tried to sniff out a rat in Las Vegas. It felt like the odds should
I
have
think
been
it's
the
still a
other
rat.
way.
I think it's still a rat.
And so, based off our model,
We'll be okay. Our model that hasn't worked. But let's go through the rest of these Heineken headlines before Jay gets on the show. LSU baseball is ranked preseason top 4. They are behind Wake Forest, Florida, and Arkansas. So that's 3 of the 4 teams in the SEC. Obviously, Wake Forest, you saw what they did last year and the guys they brought in to the team this year. They're going to be another stout unit. Corey Raymond, it's finally a done deal. They finally made it happen. That's your Westgate brethren.
My guy.
Right there, that's your guy. A lot of experience here, obviously, a lot of success here. We are looking forward to that. It seems like they're about to start rounding out the staff, right? The OC decision is still looming. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 other spots that they probably can kind of figure out. But it looks like everything's starting to take shape, and the LSU football coaching staff looks significantly different than it did last year, and it almost looks, I'd say, way better than it did last year. I think you're going to see a very big difference in defenses from one year to the other, which I'm very excited about.
I'll get to it whenever we get to the actual talking of it before the rundown. But if you saw the news on social media from the former players and current players, the Corey Raymond hire seems to be a home run.
Very popular hire.
Very popular.
And that's a good thing. Because you know
Contrary
why?
to
You're
some
recruiting these
beliefs.
guys, you're coaching these guys. If they can buy into that, then that's a big thing, right? So that's a huge thing for LSU. Congratulations to Corey. Great dude. Very happy for him to be back at LSU. And I'm very happy for those guys that get to play underneath him, because he's shown over the course of the last 12 years that he has been very good at what his job and very good at developing talent in the secondary. Last order of business, talk about the New Orleans Saints. Wonder what's going to happen. When are they going to make the decisions? They finally pulled the plug. Pete Carmichael no longer with the team, as well as a couple other offensive assistants, Bob Bicknell and wide receivers coach Cody Burns. All three of them are out. Never are happy, like cheering for joy that somebody got fired. He has been there for a really long time. He's been the OC by title since 2009. You know, obviously offenses have been a little different since Sean's left, and Pete kind of took the reins. It didn't really work out. And thank you for your service. I appreciate all the good times you've had here. You're part of the Super Bowl team. You're a big reason why that happened behind the scenes. That has been very vocal from a lot of players. Have been very vocal about that. That he is, was behind the scenes. He was a big reason why a lot of these things had kind of went the way it went. And so he is no longer there. The Saints bring in, I think, 3 or 4 different candidates that they've asked to interview. A lot of them come from the Sean McVay coaching tree, which is very exciting because obviously Sean McVay is one of the better offensive minds in football. And so, I think this is going to be a little bit of a process. We'll see how it plays out. But looking forward to, hopefully, some new hope on the offensive side of the football next year in New Orleans. So you got some talent. You got the guys. You got your quarterback for at least a year. And not mentioned in the names of people being asked to interview is John Gruden. So, a lot of John Gruden smoke out there. Who knows if it's actually real or not. And perfect. He's all set. Is he in there? Is he not there early?
He's all set?
Oh, he's all set. I think he's okay. He's ready. He's there?
No.
Okay, that's fine. I
All
was just
set
making sure he understood. He
All
knew that we
set
had
to
it.
get set.
All set to get
A lot of Mikey, some people just move at their own pace. They're ready, but they're not ready. He's on deck. Getting his gloves on.
Yeah, but he's on time.
He's
That's
on
Lloyd
time.
trying to tell you he's
Yeah,
gonna be late. That's
I
all
know.
he's
I know.
really doing.
No doubt, 1,000,000%.
That's all he's really doing.
He's gonna be late. Like, I am not. There is no. Lloyd, this is me. I'm being serious. You can't be late. Like, can't.
That's
Like,
what, Mother Nature.
I will make this as easy as I can possibly make it for you, but when you have got to be there in plenty enough time.
hate to swing and miss on 2 coaches' banquets in a row. It'd be 2 for me.
Yeah.
I'd like to go 1 for 2. Bet 500.
I think you should do it. Like, there's no excuse outside of you not being there on time. There's no excuse. You got all the help you can possibly get on this.
That is true.
You went through the walkthrough. It's definitely going to work.
Dominated the walkthrough.
You have everything that you need to have success. It's up to you at this point.
Well, that's not gonna help you right now. Nobody's talking.
I didn't think he would stop.
This, I mean,
Worse? Yeah.
you're making me nervous.
I know. I love this.
I don't love this.
That's why I like it.
No, I need you to promise me on air
I promise.
that you will be there on time, plenty enough time.
Plenty of time.
What's your latest time?
1.
1's your latest. I'll give you that. No later than 1 o'clock.
And then you don't have to, you can still leave. You'll have
I
plenty of
know.
time to go back
No
and change.
no later than 1 o'clock.
No later than 1.
Deal.
Eastern time.
Nope.
Central Standard.
If it's Eastern time, then it's 12 o'clock our
Oh,
time.
West time. West Coast time.
No.
Lloyd will be getting on the road.
1 o'clock,
at 1 p.m.
Baton Rouge time. Okay? Central Standard time. Deal?
Deal.
All right. Now, is your
there.
father in there?
No, father's still not here. I sent him the link.
You sure you sent him a
Waiting.
link?
Oh, yes. I'm just waiting for him to pop up.
Look, they're back. It's 11-9. Look at that. They pushed it back. 11-9. They got the ball back. Look at this. See? You call timeout when it's 9-3 and you make a little bit of a run. Okay?
There you go.
That's what you do.
What's
You just settle,
basketball?
you settle down.
What's basketball?
Runs.
Game of
It's a
runs.
game of runs, but you just settle them down. And they did. Tell you who was on a run. Last Sunday, I was on a run.
In the
Coach,
gym?
I was Steph Curry. I was making it rain from
Feeling up the
everywhere.
referee?
Yeah, 7 threes because I was letting it eat. It was out there.
Is that for the,
Ancient athletes.
no, nice.
Yeah. It felt great.
Win?
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Fight?
Nope.
Maybe.
Man?
Almost. Nope.
Same guy?
Nope.
Different guy?
No fight.
No fighting.
We played really well.
His name's popped up, and it's only a matter of time before we get your national champion head coach, leader of your Fighting Tigers, 2024.
Are you introducing him?
He is here.
You want to do the introduction?
Oh, no. I just want to make sure everything's working. We got audio.
All right, we're ready.
Return of the show.
All right. We are excited to introduce. Are you
Go
okay.
for it. Just something that's waited far too long.
We are excited to introduce our next guest. It's been longer than we would like. A longer break than we would like. Obviously, some winter time. You had some Christmas and holiday break. It is now January. Some may call that basketball season. Us here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, call this baseball season. School is starting, and baseball season is here. National championship winning coach, Jay Johnson. Thank you, Coach, for joining our show. I appreciate you, and I am very happy that Lloyd didn't mess this thing up.
That's always a good start.
Always.
There we go, Coach. Thank you.
Always a good start. Coach, you look great.
1 for 1 in 2024.
Yeah. We're very excited to have you on the show. Me and Jay were talking off air about kind of how we want to approach this interview with you, and we're like, you know what? We have all year to talk about who's going to do this, who's going to do that, and quite frankly, like, you still got a lot of time before the season starts for people to kind of figure some stuff out. But I guess what interests me and what interests us a lot is you're going through, or you kind of went through an off season and leading up into a season in a situation that you've never been through before. You've never come off a national championship.
No offense.
Well, there's no offense taken. That's just the facts. How has this offseason been different from the other off seasons? Obviously, you'd imagine more speaking engagements. You've had to, share your time probably a little bit more than you're used to. How has that been, and how have you been able to manage that and kind of push forward towards baseball season?
Yeah, sign me up for the deal where we are coming off a championship. What comes along with that? I'm 1,000% good with that. It's been great. Love the fans, and I can keep hearing myself. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're echoing.
I'm gonna try to log on again.
It'll be the headphones, I would imagine. That could help us out. Because it's reverbing through his computer. So it's
he's going through the computer.
And then he's going into the computer as well.
Okay, yeah, we'll call back. We'll do it again. We'll just call right back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Or you call back. Well, first one. Not quite there.
It's always something with his computer.
Not quite there.
I don't know what LSU, where they're penny pinching on the baseball. But we will get it straight.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
It's a good interview. It's a good question. I was excited about the question I asked.
Good start. Came out hot.
Yeah.
Round the first base with some steam.
I
You
did.
really made me believe you were going to take two.
Hard too.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard turn. They had to stop me. You know what I mean? They had to stop me with a throw.
Let's see where it goes. It's not the same setup for everybody. So.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Is he back? He's back. I hear him.
I hear some audio. Let's see if he hears us. Jay, you got us? How's it working?
I got you.
Better or worse? Same?
No.
That's okay.
Same.
We'll push through.
It's not echoing on our end.
Yeah, it's just accurate.
Is it bad? Is it bad on your side?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Dang it.
Let me. I'll try to do it here. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Do it from your phone.
No.
Sometimes that works better.
Okay.
You make the call. You're the skipper.
I think he hung up on you already.
It's okay.
All right, we're doing it. We're doing it. I appreciate you sticking with us. We're going to make this work. Don't love that this is happening right now, but it's okay. It's part of it. On different news, LSU down 17-13 in basketball. Now it's 17-15, making a little run. Have they started school?
Yes, because did you not see PFT flooded today?
I did not see
Patrick
that.
F. Taylor? Yeah.
I did not see that.
I don't think it was built for the freeze. Pipes
Oh,
busted.
the pipes busted.
Yep. Cancel another day.
2 days. Is it the
Back
first
at
2
the
days of
crib
school?
again.
I think
Yeah,
so.
I think
It either starts now or next week.
Wow.
I mean, they
First 2
for sure
days.
didn't go to school on Monday, so we know that.
But I just saw people were taking pictures inside the building, so I'd imagine some kids are on campus. I know that they're back on campus at UConn because for their first week, they're doing $2 beers for their UConn basketball game for their first game as the number 1 team in the country. So that thing is going to be
Men's basketball is one in the
thumping.
country.
Yeah, UConn's men's.
They're back.
They're back. Shout out Jack.
Since the who? Since the what? The Kimball Walker days?
Well, I think they were good last year.
Oh, they had a team that won a couple years ago,
Yeah,
right?
that came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Good coach
All right,
over there.
he's back. Let's see. Better or worse?
Please tell me it's okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. You sound great. How do you sound
Oh,
over there?
worse.
So not working.
Not working?
We'll see what we can do.
Battle for us.
All right, I'm sorry, Coach. We'll make it quick so you don't have to hear yourself echo. The question I asked basically, how is the offseason? Have you handled this offseason differently than it has in the past? Obviously, it's different, more speaking engagements. You said you sign up every day of the year, every year for these types of off seasons. Kind of how have you handled that?
Yeah, good. I think coaching at LSU, the interest they have, how they show literally every event. It doesn't exist in the country. Yeah, really special. It's part of what just the appreciation of community. I'm very grateful. And so to connect with that, I'll see that is great. Now our focus goes our process for the season. Great off season.
Do this. We're gonna have to maybe chalk it up as a loss so they get on our side. This is our fault. It's cutting out on here now. I don't know what's going on with the equipment, but I apologize. And we're gonna have to swing and miss. We're gonna swing and miss today. We're gonna have to try to do it again next week if that's okay. I don't want to keep your time. I'm sorry, Coach. Sorry.
We did get
No
this one
problem.
figured out.
Appreciate
Seems
it.
to be important.
Yeah, we gotta figure that out.
Man, I've sent this man a microphone. We've worked it on the back end.
Yeah, we
Tried
got
multiple times.
we got to figure out how to make that work because it's gonna happen
Every
weekly.
week.
So, we're gonna have to figure out why it's not working. Because we can't be having them come on here and not
work.
I mean, don't love that. I don't know why, because that was way worse than it was the first time.
I was on his phone.
I will tell you this, though.
It's probably because he put his phone down and the speaker was there at 100%.
Yeah.
I will tell you this, though. If just getting to look at him, man, like he looks like he's re-energized and ready for it.
Oh, he
looks like, hey, this is what I'm here for. And everything that's going on in the offseason has been great, and I've enjoyed it. I've been here, I've been there, I've done this, I've done that. But, like, this is what I came here for, and this is what I'm ready for. Just he has that, like, it's finally time kind of look to him, and I like that.
He's definitely over
Oh, yeah.
the speaking stuff and, hey, this is what's going on. We won. Congratulations. No, he's ready to get back.
A lot of pats on the back
swing
over
of
the
it.
last
Yeah,
6 months for him.
A lot of pats on the back.
Yeah.
But hate the fact that we weren't able to have him on just now.
Obviously.
Looking very much forward to that. But it is what it is.
We'll get it straightened out.
We gotta adapt, adjust, overcome.
Move forward.
Talk about how we're gonna win money here on the LSU basketball game. My first basketball bet of the year.
2024.
Before we get into the football conversation, though, let's still continue the baseball conversation. Down here in Baton Rouge, I think a lot of people realize, not realize, they know LSU baseball is the mecca. LSU baseball is coming off a national championship. But at the same time, I think baseball has closed the gap in a sense of like other teams are really, really, really good, right? Now, to get over the hump, it takes a lot, some extra stuff. And, you can't just be really good to win. You have to have some luck and you have to have some, good fortune, some good coaching, some players step up and those types of things, right? But LSU comes into the season as national champs, defending national champs, ranked number 4th in the country, right? You have 3 SEC teams ranked in the top 4. Wake Forest is number 1. Outside of last year, not very many teams, and LSU didn't go wire to wire, not many teams start off the season number 1 in the country and end number 1 in the country. That's very hard to do. Florida was the runner-up last year. They are ranked 2 in the country. And then Arkansas, who's always in the top 5, 10 in the country, ranked number 3. Now, LSU's got to play Florida and Arkansas this year in their conference schedule. I don't think anybody's conference schedule is going to be as difficult as LSU's or in the SEC in general, right? Wake Forest obviously are good, but top to bottom, ACC is not going to be as good, right, as the SEC. Being on a team that has a lot of new guys, some same guys, a lot of new guys, different team, but having still the same expectations. How do you go about getting into the season and saying, all right, we're going to kind of try to stay focused, level-headed, locked in, not saying, oh, we're already here, we've already won it, or we are that good, and just kind of get a little complacent.
That's the task of a head coach in this situation, and it's honestly, truthfully, I think it's one of the tougher jobs that you have to do as a head coach. Like, you get there and you win one, and that's all great and that's awesome. But then now, refocusing a team that either – it doesn't matter how many guys were on the field, you're still going to be bringing back guys who got that experience, right? And now refocusing those guys to saying, like, hey, we're trying to do this again, or bringing in other guys to the program who are seeing the fruits of it, if you will, but hasn't really put in that work, and that's just the truth of it, right?
Right.
You haven't done it in this program. To be able to get those fruits without having done it yet it's a little hard to kind of keep those guys honed in. So that is probably going to be one of Jay's biggest tasks this year. And let's be honest, I think the SEC has gotten 9 or 10 teams in the top 25 out of the conference. This is a conference that eats itself, and I'm still fully in belief of that. There's good baseball played around the country. There's good baseball played, really good baseball played in other conferences. But this conference does eat itself, and having some luck, having some health, and having some good timing is the most important things, and we'll kind of see how that thing gets to play out.
I'm looking forward to how they structure the pitching staff, right? Like,
here's my early guess. I'm going to be honest with you. My early guess is outside of the rotation, it is going to take us a long damn time to see structure back there, if you will.
For sure.
I think they have so many damn arms that they will not be very hesitant to pull guys early. You will not see guys have to throw back-to-backs and or come into quote-unquote save situation. I say save. Come into situations where, oh, wow, I wasn't expecting him to be thrown here because he did this much on this day or whatever. There are so many arms and so many opportunities back there. Unless something were to go really wrong, meaning injury and stuff like that, I think you're going to see so many dudes come out of that pen that it's going to be very impressive.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, I think that how he structures it, like you said, I think it's going to take a long time, right? I think you're going to have different situations that calls for different guys that come in. They're going to have different matchups. He's going to have the ability to do whatever he wants as far as matchup goes. And then you're going to start to see some of these guys having these roles. As the SEC play starts to happen and these games start to kind of matter a little bit more and get a little dicier, you're going to start seeing these roles be defined. Not even by necessarily Jay says, okay, you're the guy who's earned these roles, right? Like, they're going to earn their spot in this role, and Jay's going to get comfortable with a guy in whatever situation he's in. I think you're going to start seeing that. I think you're also going to start seeing around that same time the offense start to kind of find its footing, right? Like, you're going to have the preseason. You're going to have the out-of-conference schedule. It's not going to be as difficult as conference schedule. So you're going to have guys be able to put up some numbers and do some things, and then you're going to go through a bump in the road a little bit, right? Where some of these guys may be getting off to this scorching hot start that you didn't even think that they were going to be able to do. Then they're going to go to the SEC play, and it's going to kind of level out a little bit, and then they're going to figure out their way out of it. And I think probably after that third week of the SEC, once they get past that, back to the upswing, you're going to start to see the offense become the offense that they need, everybody thinks that they're going to be, and the offense that they're going to be towards the end of the year. And that's what I'm kind of looking forward to too.
Well, and you got to remember too, like, so if you remember at the end of their fall season, Jay came on and talked about how impressive the pitching staff was when it comes to just the ability to throw strikes, right? They threw strikes really well, which says a lot because we all know that staff also has a ton of talent and a ton of ability. So to be able to hone it in and actually be able to throw strikes means a lot, right? There is going to come a time during the season where somebody's going to be struggling or struggle in maybe a specific outing or a string of outings. I can't wait to see what the leash looks like on some of these guys. How long are we going to keep you in? Or is this conversations he's been having with guys saying like, hey, look, I believe in all of y'all. Y'all know how much I believe in all of y'all. Y'all know how talented this roster is, and you know how talented I think this roster is when it comes to pitching. So if I yank you after two walks, or if you can't make it through an inning, please don't take that as I don't believe in you. It's just I know what we have available, and I don't have to really push you through it. I'm still going to give you the opportunity next time. I'm still going to put you back in there next time. I want to see if you can use it like that, because let's be honest, like, there isn't many teams that have the ability to be able to use a pen the way we kind of think they'll have the ability this year, which is it's long and it's deep and there's a lot of talent. There's going to be a Sunday game in the SEC where for some reason they're down 7-2 in the ninth, and the guy that's coming out of the pen will be throwing 95 plus, and you're like, why on earth is he throwing right now?
Right.
Well, because that's how deep they are back there. There's going to be a time early on in the season within the first month or two where somehow Cam Johnson or somebody like that doesn't get to throw in the back end of a game because they never really get that close. So now he's starting on Tuesday because they don't want to go 2 weeks without him throwing. Like, I can't wait to see how this thing kind of folds out because, like I said, there's so many dudes back there. So many dudes back there.
Ton of dudes, right? And I got a lot of guys that are on the team that you didn't even know were on the team, right? We had people telling us about some of these guys that were here last year.
The forgotten men.
Didn't play, were hurt for one reason or another. Super talented, but you just kind of forget because they weren't on the team. They weren't playing, or they were on the team, but they weren't playing. They weren't on the active roster because they were hurt. And now we're getting reports from some of the guys on the team like, nah. Like, these guys are like, wait till you see this guy throw. Wait till you see that guy throw. I'm like,
there was some
who is that?
Kids, there was young kids on the team last year that we all saw it, right? There was 3 or 4 big injuries on the pitching staff, right? And it bumped guys up in the spots where they were not used to playing. So there was also still guys behind those guys that were really just not ready to pitch that year yet. But they're really, really talented. And a lot of these guys have taken steps forward to where you're going to see him this year and be like, well, who is he? He was here last year. We never saw him throw. He was one of those guys. You get what I'm saying? And, like, there's a couple guys like that this year.
I think part of that, right? Like, you have those guys. Then you have the guys who are going to be first-rounders, right? Like, quote-unquote first-rounders, the weekend rotations. Then you have Jacobian Guillory, right? I think he's an interesting guy because, you know, he's kind of taking that. He didn't throw it all in the fall. They're kind of letting his arm do what he needs to do. They're trying to still develop him as a position player as well, right? But they want him to be ready for the season. Last year he didn't even have any preparation as a pitcher.
Right.
This year they're kind of prepping him. I'm interested to see what he looks like year 2, knowing that he's going to pitch this year, right? Last year it was just pure adrenaline, talent. Hey, I can do this. I have a nasty breaking ball. I'm going to make it happen. Now, all right, I know what my role is going to be. I know what I can do. Now, what's going to happen when I get a little stronger, know what I'm trying to do, and understand what my plan is for me. So that's going to be interesting. I think that, like I said, that just adds to the embarrassment of riches on the pitching staff. But offense is one of the things that a lot of people are going to want to see. And I'm very I'm excited, and I think I'm confident in the offense and what it's going to look like. But it's a work in progress. It's going to be a work in progress.
There's one wild card in that entire offense that, to me, if you get this guy to show up and understand and know and exude and play like I am that dude, I am that guy, if you get Jared Jones to go out there and ball this year, this offense will be in another stratosphere again. Because he is that dude. He is that talented. He does have that ability. And if you get him to play like that throughout the year, this offense could be scary again. Not streaky scary, like legit scary again.
On top of that, you have Paxton Kling, right? He's super talented. The whole thing is if he can put it all together, he has the ability to be Dylan Cruz-like. Now, obviously, you're not going to have the 3 full seasons that Dylan Cruz had and, the production that he's had. But as far as talent, I think he has a better arm. He's probably faster than Dylan Cruz. I think he's bigger than Dylan Cruz or has the potential to be bigger than Dylan Cruz. I'm not saying he is Dylan Cruz or going to be better than Dylan Cruz, but strictly talent-wise, he has the ability to have that type of impact. If he puts it all together, that's the thing. If he puts it all together, if he does this, he's a draft-eligible sophomore, so he can go out there and have a monster year and get drafted in the first round this year.
Yeah.
I think that the offense is going to be good no matter what. But I think if you want the offense to take that next step and be great, he needs to.
Well, I think
take
a
that
lot of
next step.
to me when I think about him, we don't know any bit of where he's going to hit, what he's.
Right.
I don't know, but if it is to be what they did last year and he's at the top of the lineup, I think a lot of his success will come off of how hot of a start do those guys get off to behind him, or is that going to allow him to continue to get pitched at? Which is why I bring up someone like Jared Jones, because having him in the middle of the lineup behind, I would imagine probably somewhere behind a Tommy White, probably somewhere smashed in between or behind a Hayden Travinsky. If you get those 3 big dudes to start producing early on and out the gate, it's going to allow someone like Paxton to be able to settle in because you're going to have to pitch to him, right? And you're not going to be able to kind of just cut him up and kind of go away. I think stuff like that, as great as Dylan is, then there is no denying it. But a guy only hits damn near 500 into past halfway of the season because they've realized, hey, man, like, it's either a solo homer or we can put him on and Trey can get a hit and get on himself, and next thing you know, we're down 4-0 because we gave up 2 back-to-back homers. Do you want that? No, you don't. So let's just take the chance on him hitting. If he's hitting 500 and it's a great season for him hitting 500, right? That's still a coin toss for us. I'd rather take that than just putting him on, right? So I think stuff like that really, really helps, and I'm really looking to see what you're going to get out the middle of that order really early in the season, because I think that's going to do a whole bunch if Paxton Kling is at the top of the lineup and he's hitting in that spot.
I agree. I think the Bingham kid, the 5th-year guy, I think he's a big addition to the lineup,
Huge.
whether it's the top of the lineup or the
Huge.
bottom of the lineup.
I think he
has
can bring
experience.
the Trey type bat this year. Huge.
Yeah, no doubt, right? And I think that Braswell is going to be good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Braswell is going to be better than
He's our sneaky one right there.
Yeah.
He's our sneaky one that we all said, like, I don't know where he's going to be at the start of the year, but I wouldn't be surprised because of his background that he already has in this league, and it just feel like you don't bring a guy in like that unless they got a chance. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's someone that sneaks his way and finds his way to routinely hitting in the top of somewhere at the top of the lineup late in the year. And if he doesn't, I'm not saying that that's what I think will be an unproductive year for him, but I won't be surprised at all if somehow that happens.
I mean, if you get Jordan Thompson level of production from the plate from him, would you be happy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
And he plays a good shortstop?
Of course.
No doubt. Now, you got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Because you have guys behind them, but they're just young, unproven. You don't know. And like that's why you brought him in, because you didn't really have a guy that you felt confident enough to be able to put there every day as a shortstop and take that role.
What do you think? Obviously, Brady Neal started, the first 26 games of the year as catcher, gets hurt, and then you see kind of the hodgepodge of Milazzo, Travinsky kind of try to figure it out behind the plate. Even there's one game where Bear Jones got behind the dish whenever.
Well, he is a catcher.
Right, but it wasn't expected for him to have to catch last year. But what do you do with somebody like that obviously proved he could be a starter? And I think he hit 206 from what I just saw, but obviously freshman and having to catch, that's a lot on your plate at the same time. Do you think that he moves back into the starting role, or it's Milazzo's too? Or do they?
Well, I think you got to make sure he's healthy.
Right.
That's the other
Is it a
thing. I think
back?
he had a back deal, right? So I don't know how healthy he is, but I think it's Milazzo's deal. I think Milazzo has earned that. I think that you're going to see him play a little bit. I think you're going to see Milazzo be the basically the captain.
Yeah.
Right. Run the staff, run the team basically, and then mix in some other guys behind him. But Milazzo's going to get the majority of it.
I would imagine Milazzo's ability to actually just control the staff, understand how to work with these guys, being a field general, being someone with some experience, that's something that you will hold in very, very high regard, no matter kind of what he does offensively. I think he's going to be the guy, and I'm not saying that he won't, but I'm just saying his ability and what he brings to a team behind the plate, I think that's something that'll be very, very, very important for LSU this year, and I think he's going to get a lot of time back there.
Agreed. We got to get him on the show. Him and Travinsky back on the show.
Oh, they're
Didn't he just
superstars
get,
now.
I think he just got engaged.
He got engaged.
Yeah.
Found out on the dirt.
Oh, yeah, I saw that clip.
Their show.
Elijah said he was nervous.
So I need to get him. Yeah, of course you're nervous.
He
I was nervous too.
Talked to Cade about what to do. He's like, don't prepare anything because you're not going to remember it. You just black out. He goes, it's like being in Omaha. You don't know. You blink and it's over.
You never know. You just never know what you're going to say. So
Something I do not have to worry about.
I would like to get him and Travinsky on the show just to have a conversation with us because they've both been on. We both enjoyed talking to them. Obviously, they have their own deal. We can promote their show on our show. You know,
Yeah, check it out, LSU Gold in the dirt.
help each other out.
Yeah, friends
You know
helping
what I mean?
friends.
Friends helping friends. We'll talk to all those guys.
Oh, they
On
won't be able
Sunday.
to.
Can't avoid us.
Can't avoid us. Sunday, 6
No,
o'clock.
can't avoid us at that time. But baseball season is going to be fun. It's going to be very enjoyable. I'm looking forward to it. I was also looking forward to that conversation.
I was
but
too.
It's okay. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened either.
I don't like it because I feel bad. I think he was mad at us.
I think he was frustrated.
Can't lose it. We got to gain his trust back.
That's right. If I have to go into the office and set it up, I will.
We have to do that. We may need you to do that.
IT call.
Yeah. We may need you to do
Test
that.
it.
You and Joe.
Yeah.
No.
Bring the whole crew.
I don't think we should bring Joe.
Bring the whole crew.
Um,
He could be at practice. I don't need him to be there. I just need access to the office.
I don't think that's happening.
I don't think that's happening.
I don't think you're getting access to the office without him in there.
I'm just saying if he's busy. I'm not going to touch the one thing.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh.
All
That's what we need.
right. In football news. Are the Saints going to mess this hire up?
I think they've already messed the hire up by retaining the head coach.
No. We knew that they were going to retain the head coach. I think they would have messed the hire up by not firing the offensive coordinator. But they fired him. They're bringing in young guys. You see who they're doing, what they're doing. Are they doing that as like window dressing, you think? Or is it like legit consideration?
For who?
For the offensive coordinators, for the Saints.
With who, though? Who are you talking about?
The three guys they brought in. They brought in Waldron, Zach Robinson, Shane Waldron, and Dan Pitcher, right?
You mean with literally just those three guys?
Well, those are the first three guys that we know about.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, the rumor is that John Gruden has been in conversations, potentially being the offense, like, been connected to the offensive coordinator job in New Orleans, all those types of things, because, you know, obviously he was with Derek Carr, that whole deal. He's in the middle of a lawsuit with the NFL, which, you know,
That'll mess up your timetable.
that's
The three
that's
guys,
a little tricky.
The three guys on this list, none of which, like, I'm not a coordinator expert by any means, but Dan Pitcher, Bengals quarterback coach, doesn't do anything for me. I feel like that's very much the Joe Burrow show, and he helps cover up a lot of things whenever you see him be able to come in as a rookie, second year, get to the Super Bowl.
I think it's more Zach Taylor because Zach Taylor got that job because of him being an offensive guy and then struggled, and Joe got there, and then Joe was hurt, and then what they did this year without Joe, I think those –
Yeah, that gives him a little bit of a bump, but
Yeah.
I still put a lot of that on Burrow, even though what you saw Browning do, I think, was pretty impressive. Zach Robinson is one I would star on here just because immediately under McVay, if you want to get into an offense, because what was the big complaint about the Saints offense this year? It wasn't
Boring.
creative,
Yeah.
wasn't like there was no motion in the offense. The Rams do that nearly every play where they're the McVay is based very much off play action, motion, trying to kind of have some tells on the defense as opposed to lining up and playing football. A lot of what the Saints did was they threw you out there, what you saw is what you got, and you did no favors for your quarterback.
yeah.
If you can get a coordinator that kind of has some window dressing and maybe help you make decisions easier, I feel like that would be the best hire that the Saints could make at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. That of those three names, that's the one that intrigues me the most, just because it's been seldom. I mean, it's been very much said around the league that preparing for the Rams offense is an absolute nightmare week in and week out. It's very, very hard to kind of figure out how they do, what they're doing, when they do it, because it all looks the same. So that would be the one that would be most intriguing to me. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know if those guys are getting real consideration or if they're just getting the courtesy, come in and interview because it's formality and we have to do it. I don't know. That's the one on that list that intrigues me the most.
And the next one is Shane Waldron, the Seahawks quarterbacks coach, which that doesn't move the needle for me at all.
No, me either.
So there's one higher.
I'd imagine they're going to have multiple guys come in, though. Like, I'd imagine like that. Those aren't going to be the only three.
Because you still have people that are in the playoffs that you'd probably like to take a stab at.
Should we just get Mike McCarthy for that job? We can bring him in if they do something there.
That's actually the next conversation.
What do you think they do there?
When do they pull that plug?
Here's my question. I'm being honest when I say this. I brought that up for a reason. This is a real question that I have. 2 years. Well, McCarthy's been there for 3 years, right?
Uh-huh.
So 2 years, your offensive coordinator is the guy that they fired last year, and now he's the guy in L.A., right? He's offensive coordinator in L.A. So now in year 3, they still had a good offense. They just can't win, right? So now in year 3 years of McCarthy's now the play caller, right? Dak, I think we could all sit here and say he had his best season. So what happens next year when he leaves, if you fire him? What are you expecting to have a better season and a better playoff? Like what? Because we've all seen it. How often do you see somebody new play caller, new coordinator, quarterback marriage in the first year, and all of a sudden it just takes off? Are you planning to say, hey, look, if this doesn't look good, it'll be a lot easier to just say, because McCarthy would be in his final year, Dak would be on an expiring contract where I think the guaranteed money would be low. Do you just sit here and say, if it doesn't look good, then we have more of a reason to just let him walk out the door, and it doesn't look like we're pushing people out that don't belong out?
Interesting.
It's a very interesting call.
Yeah.
You would think, hey, like after what we just saw, you got to make a move. But I'm like, if you make the move, what are you expecting to get?
I think the only reason that they would be interested, like this is even a conversation, is because of the names that are out there, right? Like if a Belichick becomes available, which is something that nobody really expected at any point, like it felt like he was going to retire a Patriot, get the wins record, and be done. Now the fact that he wants to continue coaching without being a part of the Patriots organization, it's, okay, do you fire good to hopefully get great? And that's something that Jerry Jones is on continues to beat Father Time somehow. Yeah. Even has a plan in place for when he does kick the bucket.
Does he?
AI Jerry is out there and only getting stronger. So he will still be a part of the team. But I think he wants to see a Super Bowl before he goes. So it would be somewhat, I don't want to say selfish of Jerry, but it's him saying, if I could have one guy and I want to win a Super Bowl and be done with all of this, I think that's why you'd bring a Belichick in. Now, what he does offensively, I don't know. I mean, it didn't look good in New England, but it's still just he's the best NFL head coach of all time. So I think that's what makes everybody's ears perk up, especially with a Jerry Jones lurking out there who will do nearly anything to get one more Super Bowl.
It's going to be a wild NFL offseason because you have a lot of guys going a lot of different places that you didn't think were going to be fired or gone, right? Like you didn't think Belichick was gone. You didn't think Pete Carroll was going to be gone.
Vrabel.
The group that's available is so strong, too.
Right.
Like, it really is. It really
and they're all going to go somewhere else. Like all those guys are going to get other jobs in other places.
Pete Carroll wants to keep coaching.
No doubt. Vrabel's probably going to get a job. He may have take the Rams job. The Chargers job.
And then you have Harbaugh.
And you got Harbaugh if he wants to take the Chargers job, allegedly. Right? I mean, there's a bunch of jobs out there.
But there's a lot of names and not that many jobs as of yet. Right? It's people that were considering making moves that you wouldn't think.
No, there's like 8 teams that's already vacant.
Mm-hmm. 8 teams.
No, I'm just talking about now you have the Eagles thinking that they want to fire their head coach after they went to the Super Bowl last year. You have the Cowboys, like you said, with back-to-back 12-win seasons.
Back-to-back-to-back.
3 straight. And then no Kellen Moore this year, the offensive coordinator that went to the Chargers. They thought that he should get the job. And now the offense does it. It looks better than it did without Kellen Moore under McCarthy.
And you saw the Chargers offense look like.
Not great.
Not great.
And so that's why I think it's a lot of franchises are going, those names are quite appetizing, even though we have a head coach in Philadelphia who just brought us to the Super Bowl. We were 10-1 at one point, and then the wheels fell off. And who do we blame? And so if you can get a Vrabel, if you can get a Belichick, you try. But caution because it feels like you're only getting Belichick for probably 2 years, 3 years.
Max.
Right. Where you would have McCarthy for as long as you wanted him. You could fire and go get him back.
McCarthy didn't get fired in the same way he got fired out of Green Bay. For the same reason.
Or do they move on from Dak first?
No. They're moving on from McCarthy before they move on from Dak.
I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised as much as everyone's calling for it. I swear I wouldn't be surprised if they both stayed, they let them both play out the contracts that they're in, and if it ain't great next year, it's that much more of an easy split for you to let them just walk. I wouldn't be surprised. I think the only thing that's really making it so loud is because of the names that are available.
Right.
But I wouldn't be surprised at all.
If Belichick says yes, I'll go there.
Apparently, Jerry doesn't like paying buyouts. Like he doesn't really do it. Didn't really do it with Jason Garrett. I think he really didn't do it before. He doesn't love paying buyouts.
All right, it'll be interesting. I mean, if Bill Belichick tells Jerry Jones, "Hey, I want to go there," he's gonna go there. It's done. Okay, how much do you want? For how long? 2 years? 3 years? Great.
I think he would sign it anyway.
What?
I think he would sign up for that anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it's that. Now, if he says no or doesn't want to go there, and why would he not want to go there? You go to Dallas and you just go do what you did in New England. You go to Dallas and you win in Dallas. I mean,
spark up the Brady versus Belichick rumors again.
No, I mean it's just
it depends. It depends, man. Like you got to remember, Belichick's for the last however many years he's been the head coach, the GM, the publicist. He's done all of that. So does he want to continue to do that? Because that's a conflict there, right? Jerry likes to be the guy doing all that stuff, or does he just want to coach? That's what we don't know, and I guess that's we'll find out when it comes to what job he takes and what responsibilities they give him.
Dallas is not making a head coaching change, and Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy is returning for the 2024 season.
There you go.
He is there. From Adam Schefter.
There it is.
The real Adam Schefter on ESPN.
There it is. Are y'all surprised by that?
Nope.
I'm not either.
Nope. I wouldn't have been surprised either way, though. I wouldn't have been surprised either way, I don't think.
Think about it, bro. Like next year, if he goes 9-8, it's a day. I mean, game's over and it's a see you later. If he goes 14-3 and they lose in the first round, it's probably a see you later again. Like it's way easier for him to do it next year without having buyer's remorse with whoever you bring in.
Yeah.
Dallas picks up steam to bring this back to the Saints. You might be adding Bill Belichick into the division for the Atlanta Falcons, who has
that I don't love.
They have met. It's confirmed that he met with Arthur.
Well, they
not
made
just
a graphic.
Yacht Watch.
They made a graphic about it.
Yeah, so it's real.
The
Falcons.
They put the pan on the stove and was like, let's check the temperature.
Coach interviewed.
Bill Belichick has interviewed with the Atlanta Falcons.
Like why?
That's news.
Yeah, but like, is it a graphic worthy from the organization?
They wanted to check the temperature, see what the fan base
That's
thinks.
definitely what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're trying to win the press conference before the press conference.
That's definitely. I mean, that's.
Do they like this or do they not?
No, they're definitely gonna like it. But we want to let y'all know that we're doing it.
Do they like this or do they not?
Yeah.
That's what they did.
That's the LSU baseball coach leak, right? Like Pat Casey. No. Is that who it was?
Yeah, Pat Casey,
Yeah.
Mike Bianco.
Yeah. Pat Casey, hey, let's leak it. That did not go the way they thought they were going to go. We don't like that.
Like Bianco,
don't want him.
Love him, LSU guy, don't want him at Louisiana State. Then he goes and wins a World Series.
Yeah, but then our guy did too.
Yeah, you got the right one.
Definitely got the right one. I'd love to tell him that, but it didn't work.
Text him.
I'm not blaming you.
No.
I'm not. I'm just.
It always happens with the one I don't want it to.
It's very unfortunate that it happened.
You can just do a phone call.
No. Nope. We're going to get it to work.
We are.
That's what we're going to do.
The keys to the kingdom.
Yeah. But yeah, that's good. I mean, it's good for McCarthy for staying there.
Safe another year.
Safe another year.
Bad for the Saints.
No, for the Saints, they have to make because Bill Belichick may be in the division. So you better go figure your shit out so that you can go out there and win.
And now maybe the NFC South wasn't as bad as everybody thought. Tampa Bay's in the second round. Oh, Baker did it. They're gonna run that
Baker
back.
looking good.
They won a game in the postseason
That's what I'm
too.
saying.
Yeah, I can tip my cap when it needs to be Baker looking good.
No doubt.
playing
How about
well.
CJ GJ coming out there and saying that their receivers are really good,
Saying that offense would be a lot better if they basically had
if they had a good quarterback. But he also named in the wide receivers, you got Mike Evans, you got Chris Godwin, and you got Russell Gage. He said those three are really good. And Baker's like, I don't know if he's been watching film or just not watched film, but Russell Gage hadn't been playing with us since preseason.
Hasn't played a single
snap all year. So,
Be Trey Palmer you're talking about.
wrong guy.
Oh, that's what I meant.
scored.
The LSU boy.
Yeah.
Guy that just put 80 on your head.
Yeah, so I thought Baker handled that one well. The way he responded to that. Look, I think CJ, you think he's a great player. I think he's watching the wrong film.
I think he just prides himself off talking crazy, just to kind of get you thinking, like, what did he just say?
Gardner Johnson?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, his time in New Orleans is very well documented for talking crazy.
And then his time in
Philly.
Think of the ways
he went from I thought he was somewhere in between.
No. It was New Orleans, Philly,
and
here.
then Detroit. That's right.
Think of the ways he got Brady to react over the years. This is his arena. This is what he does.
Oh, no doubt.
This is how he likes to play. So I'm not surprised at all that he said something crazy, just to kind of get this thing sparked up, just to kind of get in somebody's head. Well, all right.
Get him crispy. Uh-oh. Got to get him on crisp. Get him crispy. Man down. You got him back alive. Revived it. Speaking of things that are said that probably either were meant to be said or not meant to be said or just not knowing. CJGJ obviously made a comment. Film didn't show what he said. Like, hey, Russell Gage, good wide receiver, part of that trio where Russell Gage hadn't played. Did you see the interview with the Bucks? Also with the Bucks, with the reporter who asked him about the cold weather in Detroit?
Oh, that was.
Did you see that, Lloyd?
She asked the head coach.
Is that
not good?
That could be a mistake of the day? Did you not see it?
Oh, I saw it.
Is that your mistake of the day?
No, I've got another one that is.
He handled the response really well.
He did his best from laughing.
I mean, she asked him.
He said we're going to be all of 6 seconds in that weather.
She said, "Hey, have you done anything like, worried about how you were going to train and practice
Frigid weather.
in the frigid weather? Down here in Florida, it's different than the weather that you're gonna experience and play in Detroit. How are you going to practice?" And I feel bad because she maybe just got a little ahead of herself. Moment too big for her, maybe. And
I had a question, forgot my question. Now I'm just gonna roll. Now I'm just going.
she asked how he was going to handle that, and the response was great. Well, I hadn't really thought about it because it's a dome, and fortunately, we're not going to have to play in that weather. We're going to walk off the bus, and we're going to be in that weather.
You're talking way too much. You say way less.
I know, but I'm trying to make it sound better. But sound like nicer.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't feel that bad for her because she didn't stumble at all when she asked the question.
No.
Like she said it pretty confidently.
She locked herself in. She was ready.
Every now and then we all miss, so everybody shoots and doesn't really get it sometimes, and that one kind of happened there, and it is what it is. Just happened.
That's tough.
Yeah, you don't learn if you don't take the swings and you don't take the actual batting practice, if you will.
Never know.
She won't ask that one again. Not in Detroit.
Man, you gotta just be ready for me. You gotta know.
Hey, it would be nice to see that. I would love to see. Why don't can they just pay whatever they need to pay and do whatever they need to do? Can they get Eminem to perform in Detroit? Pre-game, halftime,
nice.
something, right? Like that gotta go. You don't get playoff games. You haven't gotten playoff games in there in forever. Like
Big
real
Sean,
hype.
maybe, but Eminem.
How do you
Eminem's
not
the
get
move.
him out? You got to get him on the screen. You gotta get him-
Eminem's Big Sean would be good, but Eminem's the move.
I mean, come on,
Eminem's the move, no doubt.
gotta happen. I would love to see that happen.
Gotta have it. You're producing. I like it.
Mike is so
Andy's
worried about what you're
Andy's
doing right now. He's got me worried about it.
I know. I'm like, I didn't know.
Well, and he's obviously Eminem is a huge Detroit Lions fan. Like you saw him in the game.
Oh, he's a Detroit fan.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
You saw, and then he was like, he's putting out hype videos. The man is like notoriously recluse when it comes to like social media and all of these things. I could see him maybe doing something. You don't burn the bridge do you burn it on a divisional championship? I guess.
I mean,
When was the last
they're
time
not
they've been
gonna
on
be-
one?
Right. They had won a playoff game
well,
in
they
30
wouldn't
years.
be home if.
That's what I was about to ask. If would they play another one at home?
I'm not sure. I don't.
What
wanna be
seed are
close.
they? A 2 seed?
No.
3
Maybe.
seed?
No. They were the 3 seed because I think Dallas might have been the 2.
No.
Or the way Dallas's road is the only place they would have to go would have been the 49ers, I think, for however the way it was set up.
Yeah. Because the 49ers have home field, so if they win, they're hosting no matter what.
But I do remember hearing people talk about the way it was set up was that the only place they would have to go on the road, Dallas, would have been to San Francisco on the season. So.
Can't play in an NFC Championship game unless you win the divisional series. So, like, can't make one game bigger than the other. The biggest game is the one in front of you.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I think Dallas was the 2 because that would make sense as to why I think I don't know.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
I don't know.
The only thing that matters is, yes, I think if it was if you want to do it, you do it this game. This home game, this game, boom.
And you don't go halftime. You go like before.
Before the game.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
does the intro.
Before the game.
Till like
Yeah.
a lapse, lose
Yes,
yourself.
if you get Eminem to do it, it's not for the crowd. It's real. I mean, it's for the crowd, but it's for the team
Yeah.
and the crowd. Like you want the team to feel this one too.
Yeah, no doubt.
Get him to sing the national anthem.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Till I collapse would be sick.
No, come on.
It would be one of them.
You lose yourself.
We just need one song from him.
I know.
You just need one. There's
national
only
anthem.
one. The anthem.
His
That's
national anthem.
You just need
That's
one. You
it.
can't be in Detroit and him not do that one in the play.
Let him
That's
sing
it.
You
again.
just need one.
That's it.
Get Haley to sing.
Hey, she can sing now, or she can rap. I think she can rap.
She's a podcast.
Yeah, but I think I've heard her
My dad's gone crazy.
actually rap.
Probably. I mean, you're around it. She's around it enough.
I mean, she comes from his genetics. I'd imagine
Yeah, I'd
she's probably
imagine it's got some skill.
some artistic talent in there. Why are we hiring? I mean, I say why. I guess we're hiring him because of Blake Baker, but all these Missouri guys.
Not only that, but now you're stacked on the defensive line. You get Kevin Peoples, and then you add this could answer your safeties defensive backs coach question for LSU, though, with the addition of
Jake Olsen.
who-
He's an analyst.
Yes.
They didn't put him. They don't know what role he's going to have yet.
Right, but he coached safeties with Blake Baker at Missouri last year. He was his analyst there. So if you wanted to give him an on-field role, you could see him at safeties, Blake Baker at linebacker, Corey Raymond at corners, and that kind of puts your defense into a little bit of a. All right, now it's a bit more organized.
Let me ask you this question:
Okay.
Why do y'all think Corey is just a corners coach?
That's what I'm asking.
Like I'm missing where that conception or that perception is coming from people. Why do y'all think he's just a corners coach?
I don't think that.
What Lloyd said it a million times. Jack said it. Why do y'all think he's just a corners coach?
Just because of the way that defenses have been, like, around the country have been structuring this, it's moved on to that. That's kind of like the formula that everybody's using. I know that he can coach both. I know he's been the defensive backs coach. But what most teams are doing is having a specific safeties coach and a specific defensive backs coach. So that's why the narrative is they're going to hire one and hire two people for essentially the same job.
Coach, basketball team's kind of doing it right now.
Is it PMAC packed?
I don't know, but they got off to a good start in the second half. Sorry, go ahead. I mean, yeah, but I'm with you though. I was actually going to ask that, right? Like,
Here's what he does really, really, really well. I think a lot of people think he's a corners coach. A lot of people think he's just a recruiter. Like, people think like those are really the two things. You know what he's really, really good at? Technique and discipline for entire. And he holds people very, very, very accountable for their actions. Those are the three things that he does really, really well. And I'll be honest with you.
can you repeat that?
Technique, discipline, and accountability.
And
He is the.
did we have that this year?
No,
Was
it wasn't
there?
much of that going on. But
No.
he is very, very good with technique. He is very, very good about eye discipline, and he is not afraid to call you out about that shit over and over and over again, right? And so the perception to me about Corey is people think he's just this cool guy, great recruiter. He's actually a very, 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 very good technical coach.
Right.
And I think that's what he's done really well. And I think that's what's drawn these, in the past, very talented players to what was a young, very good coach. And I think that's what's kind of been kind of his calling card. But for whatever reason, to me, it seems like the perception of what he does is not actually being a very good coach on the field, and he actually really is.
I think that. Oh, not packed. I mean, not packed.
Not packed.
Not packed.
Win one at home. Maybe you'll get
Win
what
this
you want.
one.
Yeah. Get it going.
But I'm with you though. Like obviously, you don't have the success. You don't have those recruits. You don't have the support of the recruits unless you are good at what you do.
Right.
You're not just because you're a cool guy want to hang out.
Yeah, they didn't all. People think he's like a recruiter and like, oh, he got me in here and I just was able to go ball and be myself, and that's how I got to the league. No, they're endorsing him because they know what he's done for them on the field. They didn't just get in here and just say, thanks, Corey. Thanks for getting me here. He actually helped them every step of the way on the field as well.
Y'all think that he was the reason why it took so long was because of him or the LSU making the decision on trying to hire him?
I think it was a little bit of both. I mean, I've kind of hinted at that a lot, but I just don't. I find it hard to believe that he was just willing to come back and just be a corners coach, just be a DB's coach. Like I think there was some configuring to do, figuring out they were going to do contract stuff, how they were going to do title stuff, how they were going to kind of
because they haven't come out
all
with
that
that
stuff.
yet.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of jockeying, trying to get all of that stuff correct, and that's what I think.
It does have the approval of nearly every recruit or former player from LSU. If you can see, I'm pulling this from Tiger Dropping, shout out. But this is a litany of tweets that after
Jordan Lockdown Allen has been very vocal on Twitter recently.
And you get it from like the old heads that played underneath him, the new recruits that are coming in, like Corey Raymond's name. These were all guys that were recruited by him from Florida. So there's obviously like a tangible impact he made while he was there. They just wanted to go to LSU. And now he gets to sell the LSU brand to guys that want to be at LSU and play for Corey Raymond. And you're starting to see that. The same thing happened with kind of like Blake Baker, where it's like, oh, okay. Like you saw Damone Clark come out and say, this guy changed my life. Mm-hmm. Right. And so you're starting to see that LSU is hitting. I mean, this goes on forever.
Right.
That it feels like LSU is winning, at least in the court of public opinion now. Whereas
so obviously
some of the hires that came in to begin with were, okay, Denbrock, it felt like you gave Brian Kelly free reign to make hires, and now this is, I don't know if it's LSU brass stepping in or he's maybe listening to more people around him when you have a Frank Wilson in the room. Like, you should get Corey Raymond if he wants to come back. And
right.
I don't know if that was they were dragging their feet because of how Corey Raymond left or if it was a title money dispute. But it did feel like it took longer than it should have.
I agree. And like I said, it could have been a both sides thing, right, where both sides had to figure out the way it worked.
Yeah. I think there's a little bit of rebuilding a relationship there too.
I mean, are y'all happy with how the coaching hires have turned out? I am.
I think LSU probably has the best staff in the country.
I mean, I think that
from everything that we've heard, I mean, it's
everything
easy to say
that you were looking at trying to do with the teams that you had the year before, you've done, right? Like, hey, we want to make sure that we can shore up our defense. We need to get a guy who the players believe in, who's a good defensive coordinator, who can recruit, who can develop. You got that in Blake Baker. Then you start filling in the staff, and you bring in Bo Davis, who obviously was one of the most highly sought-after guys in the defensive line, right? You bring him. Then you bring in Peoples, who hand-selected by Blake Baker probably to coach the defensive ends, I would imagine.
Yes.
Right? And then Blake gets to start picking some guys that he wants to work with. Then you bring back Corey Raymond, who's had the success that's been well documented on the recruiting trail, the development trail, the guys you've had in the NFL, all of those. You bring him. And so now you go from a defensive staff that you aren't very sure about to a defensive staff that you're very, very sure about, and a defensive staff that you know is going to continue to replenish your talent. So I think for me, they nailed it.
And it comes with a lot of what you had last year and not knowing the changes that you were going to make, and then having the performance of last year, you're still kind of looking around going, are they going to pull the trigger on any of these guys? Because all of the reports were defensive line coach, defensive backs coach, and that would be it, and safeties coach. But then you could start to see kind of, oh, there's this windfall that they're actually going to get rid of Matt House too. And once you clean the entire house, it's kind of hard not to look at it and go, okay, this is tangibly better than what you had last year with. Because if you'd have run it back with any of them, it felt like, why didn't you replace? Because there was no good parts of the defense. And so now you get a new coordinator, a new position coach, and by Corey Raymond's a legend here. Bo Davis is the best in the sport at being a defensive line coach. You didn't have a defensive line coach for 4 weeks last year. So you automatically get upgrades. Now he's trying to, with the announcement of obviously Nick Saban leaving Alabama in the transfer portal, you're trying to find players here's
the other thing. We talked about that before. It's like all these, they had, I think, 20, they said 27 guys from the Alabama team have already left and transferred out. 19 of them, I think, are either committed or enrolled. LSU's got 0 of those. It seems like they may only have one of those guys that are currently on that roster that's going to come to LSU, potentially. And that's the cornerback from transfer from UL to Alabama. Now he's back in the portal. You miss out on a couple of guys, or you don't really get. You get Desmond Ricks goes to A&M, doesn't come to LSU. Second time he just spurned LSU to go somewhere else. Probably got paid good amount of money to go to A&M.
And
then you have Downs, right? Caleb Downs, the big one that's in the portal now, or said he's going to be put his name in the portal.
He announced his intention to be in the portal.
Yes, his intention. But LSU's not nowhere to be found. They're not getting him. My whole point in saying this is, instead of looking at the guys that are going to transfer out of Alabama, look at the guys the recruits that they have gotten to Alabama that are now free to look at and get out of their national letter of intent, the whole deal, and go somewhere else. Right? LSU's got a recruit this week coming in, top 5-star wide receiver. I think there's going to be some other guys maybe that they can go get. They got the guy from Texas or they didn't get him yet. I'd assume.
But he's been released from his national.
I'd assume that means he's following suit, coming over and following Bo Davis at LSU, which the two positions that you need to fill are defensive line and
defensive back.
And
it's Trey Amos from New Iberia, your neck of the woods. So if you want to put in another good word, you got Corey.
Did he go to Westgate?
No, he went to
New Iberia Senior High.
I don't know what's good. He didn't go to Westgate.
I don't know either. So I'm just throwing out names. There's only a few out there.
New Iberia Catholic, is that one?
Yep.
Catholic High, New Iberia.
Yeah, that's where he went.
Really?
There'll get some good ball players in there.
St. Julian.
Yeah.
I remember him. That's where he went. Who else came out of there? Anybody? Catholic High, New Iberia.
The head coach at UL right now with the Catholic High.
Desert Mo. Mm-hmm. They got some talent down there in the Barry.
And that's one that you got circled. And if you put the picture together with Corey Raymond being from there also, I'm sure he's got some inroads to be able to have a chat with Amos if they want to make that thing happen.
I would imagine that'd be the one guy that would get. And that's another guy you add. You brought in a guy. Listen, when all these guys are healthy from last year, like, you're going to have some guys in the secondary. Right? Some of the guys that were hurt that didn't play last year, the guys, Johnson.
J.K. Johnson, Zy Alexander.
Yep. You have the other guy from Ohio State that just committed, that came in, right?
Yep.
Transfer. Then you're bringing in, you've brought in, you're going to have some guys. You have some young guys, and now you're going to have Corey Raymond there to go and develop them, which is good.
To me, it's the defense you saw at LSU last year. I was very well documented saying I didn't think Matt House should go. I obviously thought a lot of the staff was going to change. I didn't think Matt House was the move that needed to be made. Now, I also still don't think the videos and stuff that came out after the bowl game is why it happened. But I do think that also was a culmination of what seemingly was kept in-house for a long time, kind of boiling over. And so now it seems like, all right, well, there was obviously some drift that was going on in the building when it came, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So if him getting out of there and them kind of moving that entire staff, you look at it now and you're like, okay, we bringing in guys who are glue guys, who are good recruiters, who are good developers. If you can kind of keep these guys and getting them back to playing inspired football with some health, I think you're going to see a lot better unit on that side of the ball this year.
Agreed.
It's almost tough to judge anybody especially on the defensive backs, where it seemed like that was most of where your area of concern was, because you almost have to throw it out because A, they were young, B, we're not entirely sure how well they were coached up. And then obviously you have to take into account the injuries. But all of that stuff, like you probably get to see a better version of Taviano and Welch and Stamps.
Well, Welch ain't here anymore.
Welch left, but Taviano, Stamps, there's one more. But those guys, the healthy Zy Alexander, J.K. Johnson, who was penciled to be a starter, he gets back. And now you have a guy that legitimately can coach it, at least has a proven track record of being able to coach it and recruit it. It should be better than it was last year, but I don't think it'll be. And I don't want to see a bunch of blame going to a bunch of aspersions cast at Raymond's way if it isn't perfect.
Listen, it's going to take some time.
That's because what he's bringing you mostly.
And some time, I mean, like, it may not happen the first 5 games. Like, you may not see a great performance the first. Stuff like this takes time to gel a little bit.
As long as you see improvement, right? Like, as long as you don't
But
see.
you got better at every level.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be you're bad on the defensive line, the linebackers, and at DB.
Yeah. You know what the crazy thing is? It's at the end of the first signing period, at the end of the December signing period, you kind of felt like, oh, you're done.
Yeah.
You got all the guys you wanted. You're good. Just sprinkle in a couple other guys in the portal, or maybe 1 or 2 guys in that last class, or the February part. Feels like now it's like a whole new recruiting season before February.
Because
Alabama's all their players are out. They're out in the portal. They have a 30-day deal. Their recruits now can be re-recruited. It's kind of a wild time, right? And like Alabama's kind of going through the situation where everybody else has been going through for the last 2 years with the portal. Oh, the portal. Nobody, because listen, if you're leaving Alabama over the last couple of years, it's probably because you're not playing and you wanted to go somewhere else. If you were playing and you were doing what you needed to do, you ain't leaving because you're probably going to win a national championship or have an opportunity to play. Now your coach leaves. You ain't playing for Saban anymore. Now all of a sudden everybody's in the portal, and the Alabama fans are starting to see what everybody else has to see.
and now
People are starting to poach your guys, and it's not fun.
Yeah, and they're starting to clamor that the portal and NIL just aren't fair.
It's not fair, huh?
LSU lined up with 37 players in a bowl game.
Yeah, welcome to our world. With a
Sounds and
wide
looks to me
receiver as a
like
quarterback.
Yeah.
It sounds and looks to me like that NIL system or program that Alabama had set up isn't the most lucrative one that's on the market right now.
And that's what you're starting to see. I don't know how prepared they were for this, because from what we had thought is that Alabama –
They must have been talking about it.
Exactly, that there was a plan, and then you get the story of Nick Saban waffling on this, and then 5 minutes before he announces to the team that I'm done. And you kind of leave your AD with, like, he's quoted as saying, you always have a list, like for when that day comes. He goes, I didn't think the day was today. And so you go and you make for all intents and purposes, if it's not Nick Saban and you replace whoever your coach was with a coach who just went to the national championship and has won everywhere he's gone, you would be thrilled. Yeah. But it's the fact that it's not Nick Saban.
How long until Nick's not just hanging out over there?
He is in an advisory role this year.
Yeah.
I know that, but
this year would be
at least
last.
I would say at least through the year. But I mean, you said it right, man. Like when you were just a semifinal team and you had Nick Saban as your coach and you have the program that you have, and he retires and 27 guys get in the portal, it's pretty obvious they're still coming there because of that guy. Not so much because of Alabama, not so much because of what money they may have been getting. They were obviously coming there because of that guy. Because obviously the program's running.
Yeah, you had the ace in the hole every time you recruited somebody was, well, I want to go play for Nick Saban. Now you don't have that, and Alabama's starting to learn that there's very few schools that represent, I just want to go to LSU to go to LSU. Like, I think LSU still has that flavor. Probably Notre Dame has that, or like a number of guys like, I've always wanted to play at Notre Dame. Like, Alabama doesn't have that feel, for me at least, of I've always wanted to go play for that script day. It's I want to go play for Nick Saban.
Yes, Saban, and I think that you're gonna start seeing that younger generation, like that maybe they're not quite there yet to where they get recruited. Their whole life they grew up watching Alabama win, whether it's Saban or not. Like, so they're gonna grow up when they're there. Oh, I grew up wanting to go to Alabama. Like, you're gonna start seeing more of that because of the win. But by the time they're time to get recruited, they may not Alabama may not be winning anymore, and they don't want to go there.
Not only that, there's going to be a lot of people in the era going, without that, you wanted to go play for Nick Saban.
For Nick
you wanted to
Saban.
go to Alabama. And
It's like everybody wanted to go to the U, but then the U only lasted for a little bit. Now it's not the U anymore.
I don't think people are clamoring to play for Larry Coker. I think they had built up such a brand of winning, and then just they were.
How about Larry Coker able to get into a stretch there where he won?
Should have won two.
Should have won two. Should have won 2 in a row, right?
And then he got exposed pretty quickly.
After that game against Maurice Claret,
Ohio State.
it was a pass interference. After that, it was
kaput.
Yep. It lasted one more year and it was gone.
Gone.
And never been the same.
But that's what Alabama fans are going through right now, and I think that they thought the brand was the brand, not Nick Saban the brand, and now they're seeing that, oh, shit. While they have always loved Nick Saban, you're starting to see even the AD and the school itself, like you mentioned that they didn't have like an NIL thing in place. It's pretty apparent that they didn't in terms of, oh, if this is what takes it over the top, then that's what we'll do. Mm-hmm. It was always Nick Saban go close it, and then he could.
Or whatever it was, it's definitely not as strong as other places.
Right. They're not competing in that. They haven't been swimming in these waters in quite a long time. Like they were the first to, I feel like those Chargers were going out of style for a second. They all were going to Alabama, but that was the old way. Now that it's free and open and in the clear, I don't know if you could. LSU's kind of in that same boat too, where I don't know if you could compete. You have to sell something else, and LSU is selling the brand.
Well, I mean, everyone's technically in that same boat of like, you have to sell something else.
Yeah, they were selling Saban.
No, you can't say that because what else? What else is Lane Kiffin selling over there?
And he keeps pulling in.
What is he selling over there?
That's true.
Dollars, bro.
Yeah.
What was
Absolute
Jimbo selling?
dollars.
No doubt. No doubt. You're right.
I mean,
Now we could spin it in some
you're right.
culture
You're right.
and some
I'll take
I'll
that
get
back.
you to the league and all. Yeah, there is some of that in there, but at the top of their list, dollars.
Saban's the only one that could sell Saban. You
Yeah.
could only you had to sell Saban. Like
2
Saban,
years ago at A&M, dollars. Like
Yeah.
that's what they were selling.
No, you're right. Yeah, all right. That's right.
You don't go
I'll take
8
back
and
what I
4 and
said.
then pull the most 5 stars ever in the history of recruiting ever. We're selling dollars.
as soon as this thing becomes legal, oh, we have the best signing class of all time.
Right.
I'm not a recruiting guy. You're not a recruiting guy, but you kind of around it a little bit more than we are. Does LSU have any chance of like taking any of those high school recruits from Alabama?
That I don't know. I don't know if it'll hit like we were saying. I don't know if it'll hit this cycle because it's just so close to February. It's hard to make that decision. And now you have time to actually they're decommitting, but they can still win a commitment back.
Right, of course.
And DeBoer has to be able to do that. Like that's where his success is ultimately going to fall is if he can recruit in the SEC because he can win as a coach, but right now he is not painted in the best light, and it's not even his fault. He didn't do anything yet, and it's still like the wrong hire.
Yeah.
Because you're not the one guy. There's
nothing you can do. This is a lose-lose. It doesn't matter who you hire.
And that's what Greg Burns said, the Alabama AD. He was like, I had a list. He goes, but there was no one right hire. He goes, the right hire I had.
Well, the right hire was not interviewing for this job.
Right. I already had him.
Yeah, it was one guy. He's not interviewing.
Nobody's
for this
looking at that job because nobody was like, hey, he's leaving.
Yeah, right.
And that was the other thing. You could almost tell that it was he still got it done in 48, 72 hours to be able to pull a big name head coach. But you saw a lot of what maybe other coaches you thought would be there, like, oh, it's Alabama job. Whenever that comes open, Dan Lanning turned that thing down quick.
Well, and they have other opportunities to be able to grow their program that they've been growing for multiple years, right? So they're comfortable there. They brought their guys there. Now they don't have the big bad wolf to have to fight against.
Now everybody's got a knife.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, there's a reason why. It's not because Alabama and Tuscaloosa is not a good place to be. It's just, hey, listen, I'm also in a really good place where I know I can win, and now that I don't have to go and deal with Alabama every year or Nick Saban every year, then I think I like my chances a little bit better.
Yeah, my odds just got better.
Yeah, and now I go there, I have to follow in your footsteps. That's
basically playing
impossible.
him again every year.
Yeah,
And seemingly, like we talked about, a lot of other programs that are kind of coming back up and or building themselves up that's never really been there before. Seems like they're all buying into what are today's landscape and today's rules in the sense of, like, if you have that kind of administration help, man, why am I going to go somewhere else? I got everything I need right here, And I think a lot of other places are playing by those rules and giving you that kind of a string to kind of get the team in there you need. Well, what's the reason to go somewhere else?
I don't think you'll ever see a team get hit as hard in the portal as, like maybe ever, as Alabama in this situation because of how it all lined up with maybe the surprise factor of Nick leaving, the ability to hop into the portal and NIL, and
not having this happening this close to the signing deadline, right? They didn't have time to help fix their recruiting. Like if it happened December 1st, they didn't make the postseason or the playoff, and it happened after the SEC championship game. You have a lot longer of a time
they were almost
figure it out.
Like hamstrung by themselves because they won so much. If he had lost early or not gone to an SEC championship, you would have had more time if he was still going to retire. But now that as you made it that far, it became a very quick situation. And all these guys that hopped in the portal, like they didn't even meet with DeBoer yet. Like they were gone before he was even there. And then
it didn't matter what he said. I was here for Saban.
Yeah,
didn't matter.
And then you have the guys.
It shows you how much poaching other people while they're still on rosters happens.
Dude.
Those guys didn't just wake up one day and say, "Oh, coach is gone, let me go." They were getting poked.
I mean, I've
this for you.
Yeah, Ole Miss is going after everybody.
Yeah.
Ole Miss gonna put together a squad.
Yeah.
Next year.
If you don't think they're poaching, have you seen this video of Kirby Smart and Caleb Downs after the SEC championship?
Yes.
Just wonder what they're talking about. See you. Oh, T-Rob, you want to come with me to Georgia too? All right, hell yeah, I'll make you coach.
No. The smart ones aren't. That's not their poaching. They get the lower ones on the totem pole. Hey, shoot the text. Make sure you put that dash from Kirby out.
Dash Kirby. I don't know what they're talking about.
Shoot the text.
I mean, they look. Yeah, I mean, everyone's doing it, right? And they should right now. They should go after all these guys. It's gonna be interesting. Where you said Auburn or where? Ohio State.
It was Auburn, Ohio State, and Georgia. And from my boots on the ground in Alabama, Alabama's trying to get a war chest together to keep Caleb because they think that would be the tip of the spear, and showing that this whole thing is coming down, at least for this year.
Hey, he's the tip of the spear. I mean, you have a lot of guys that.
But
he's the guy.
He's the guy. He's the SEC.
He's your top 5 pick in the draft guy.
Yeah, and Saban loved him.
Tell you what, men's basketball right now is doing it. 64-48, and then made a little run. Tara Ward just threw it down.
Let's go.
Good thing we put it all in on 3.5.
All in. Everything in the account.
That's everything I had. Tyra Ward's been, I think it's 3 or 4 threes. And then he just goes, look at that.
Oops.
Fundamentally sound right there.
Right below the
2
rim.
hands, never brought it back down.
Finished strong and won.
See you at the rec.
Doesn't make the free throw, though.
Not as fundamental as
Not as fundamental as you would like it to be.
This could be a big, like you said, if it's not packed now, at least I just like the fact that McMahon, they made a push to get people in the PMAC. The students responded at least.
This is 2 big wins. One on the road, one at home. This is a top 25 team. LSU is, I said, if LSU could go 500 in SEC play this year, that is an absolutely successful season. And if they go 500 in the SEC, they're going to be a borderline tournament team.
And this is the same type of thing that DeBoer is going to have to face at a much smaller, a much bigger scale. But for McMahon to walk into a place where it felt like LSU basketball had a cult classic leader that everybody loved, and then he gets unceremoniously dismissed, and you have to come in and follow that when it felt like LSU had real momentum rolling into basketball.
How's he doing at McNeese? Still
undefeated, I believe.
No, he's not
in
yet.
Conference.
Oh, in conference.
Yeah, them and Lamar. Got a plus $300,000 future on him to win the whole thing.
Put $1 on there.
$3
to win. Yeah, so I was plus 300,000.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you even find that?
Scrolled. I was trying to find them to win the whatever conference they're in, the Southland.
Did you find that?
No, they don't have Southland odds. They didn't have those out, but they had national championship odds. So I went ahead and fired away.
Plus 300,000.
$3.
Well, that's not gonna happen, but
let's see what it nets us.
And that's you 0 because you moved.
I think I gave up $3.
You will not win.
I just want to get to the point where they start offering to buy the ticket.
I don't think that's gonna happen ever.
What if we messing around here in March and Lloyd's sitting here with the
Sweating
McNeese
it
team
out.
sitting in the,
They're a
the
12
Sweet
team,
16.
12 seed in the Sweet 16.
You won't, you won't
13
have,
seed
you won't have the
upsetting
balls to
everybody.
let him keep rolling either. You won't have it.
Oh, hell yeah.
You'll buy it out.
I would buy it out.
He's gonna buy that. He would buy that ticket the day that
It goes over
became
$3.
available. The day it became available, where they say, "Hey, you could buy this thing."
If they make it into the Sweet 16, though, you probably have a nice little cash out.
I would think so. And all they have to do to
Yeah, what do you mean? You got it at plus 300,000.
$3 to win $9,003. Could happen. Because if they win their conference,
That's
they're
not
an
enough.
automatic.
That's not enough money for you not to buy it out, though. Like if it was like, oh, $3 to win 300,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll hold on.
That's
to
what I'm
it.
saying. I mean, if it gets to, like, it'd be nice to win 500, but
For sure, but like you'd buy out. Like I'm not gonna risk it for 900.
no, it isn't going to be one of these great sweats of 2024 where it's like, oh God, if they offered me,
This would be changing my life.
yeah, like some of the, like who was it that had the Yeah, there's a guy that had the Washington ticket. He put a future on it before the year, and parlayed it with something else that had already won, and so he just had the Washington ticket for like something crazy, 6 figures, and he let it ride and didn't win. He could have like sold it for, you know, half of that, but he would have been a winner. But he was like, national championship, I'm letting it the whole thing ride. I at least would have hedged a little.
No doubt. I would have.
But then you're just sitting there with a ticket that means fuck all.
Tough. You know what's tough? Sometimes you go through things and you just gotta overcome and you gotta adapt. I got rattled for a little bit.
That's okay. I was over here.
It took me a little bit to get back on track on this show today, right?
I was over here still looking at how I could maybe fix it. Like when he's not coming on, so it doesn't matter. That's my fault.
I'm very fortunate. We're very fortunate to have him on the show and be very generous with his time. And I just hate whenever we do that. It's not necessarily our faults all the time, but
Technology.
It's something you'd like to avoid.
we're going to see him this weekend. I'm going to apologize to him. We'll get him back on the show.
The technology wasn't technology.
Right.
Sometimes that happens.
Sometimes it
Had a
happens.
camera go down.
Yeah, we had a camera. We had some. We're battling.
We battled.
If you've been here
battled.
since day one, we've run through our share.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're battling. I know. That was a good bet, wasn't it?
Mikey's acting like it's already hit. He doesn't. Yeah. Look, Magnet Man's doing it. They've won 2.
Look what happens. They go down, they hit a 3. Ole Miss hits a 3. Now you got to walk. They get the ball back.
That's yeah.
Don't love
what
that.
What did we say basketball was?
What
did we say basketball was?
game it runs.
Man, we're
I
already counting
apologize.
money.
I apologize
I
for
apologize.
if you walked into the show thinking you're gonna listen to Jay. Technical difficulties.
You did get to hear a little
apologize.
bit.
You had to hear a little bit of it, not anywhere where we like to. But we will have him back on. I promise. Baseball season right around the corner.
See him Sunday.
Yep, we're gonna go right through our seggies. We're gonna see him on Sunday. Come see us on Sunday at the
First pitch banquet.
first pitch banquet,
Where is it?
Crown Plaza.
Crown Plaza. Free
6.
food, free
I think
drink.
6 o'clock. Well, VIP 6 to 6:45. 7 to 9 would be the
big
actual
show.
event. The big show.
It's a
think,
big show.
I don't know if they have any tickets available, but go check your local website.
I think they're sold out. I think it's sold out.
Scalpers Market.
Scalpers out there.
Line up. They might have a couple extra.
Yeah, you never know. Someone may have sold their tickets back. Oh no. Oh, LSU scored again though. Okay.
All right, mistake of the day,
Brought to you by our friends at Dozy Place.
other than what happened earlier today. Do you have your headphones?
I have them on.
Listen to this. I am developing a real anger with Mickey Loomis. I mean, the disrespect of this whole press conference is unbelievable. And he's doing like a State of the Union end of the year.
Yep.
And he just thinks he's really with the shits.
You know, the easy thing to do, the lazy thing to do is look at the results of the season and say, it's a coach's fault or it's the quarterback's fault. I think oftentimes you have to look beyond that. I was just
Smacking of the gum.
Look, I was
Yeah,
prepared
it
for
took the
this
whole time.
question, right? Chuck Noll, his first 3 years, Hall of Fame coach. He was 1-13, 5-9, 6-8. But they recognize that this guy's a good football coach, right? Bill Belichick. Here's his first 3 seasons: 6-10, 7-9, 7-9. Tom Landry, 0-11.
Smacking kills me.
4-9, 5-8, 4-10, 5-8. Hall of Fame coaches, all of them. Bill Walsh, first year, 2-14. Second year, 6-10. So I think the easy thing to do is just look at the results and say, oh no, we got to have a change.
Yeah, but
you got to look beyond
Mickey,
that.
this isn't
You know,
his
what are
first
the
2 years
reasons
coaching.
why
He
we were 9-8 instead of
He said first
13-4?
the first 3
and
years.
look,
I
it's
know,
it's
but
collective.
first
It's the
3 years,
players,
period.
it's
He's
the
only
coaches,
been a head
it's
coach for
me,
4.
It's
many-
our
He
only had, like,
personnel
1 year
staff, our
before.
roster. It's variables.
He was 2
Sometimes
years
we
ago.
don't have any control of. And so my assessment is Dennis
Feels good as hell.
Allen is a good coach. And again, you know, with Sean Payton, we went 10-6 the first year, but then we were 7-9, 8-8. I heard some of the same noise. But at the time, I knew we had a good football coach. And so I think sometimes the hard thing to do is to be patient and recognize your other shortcomings and get those fixed. And that's what we're doing.
Listen, I don't hate the interview outside of the smacking.
It's just like, where's your decorum?
I don't hate that the gum was in his mouth outside of the smacking.
Yeah, like
God.
I don't hate the interview because I don't disagree with what he said. Like, listen, are ways to turn things around. Maybe the guy is a good coach. They believe in him. You got to change the stuff around him. This is that year. You're changing. You're doing everything. You're making those changes. Let's see what happens. But that
Dennis Allen.
the smacking of the gum was wild.
Especially we got to make a little change with the gum. With the gum mannerisms was a little much right there.
Dennis Allen's first 3 years in Oakland, his only 3 years, he was 11-37. So he had a pretty good sample size.
So it was 3 years in Oakland, 2 years in New Orleans. So he has 5 years of being a head coach.
And he is a total of 24-46.
This was his first winning season, though. On the upswing.
Hey, we're getting there.
On the upswing.
He said, don't judge.
On the upswing.
Be
9-8.
patient. Be patient.
First winning season. Next year, 11-7.
Lloyd's an
11-6.
instant gratification guy. He wants him out of there.
Yeah, 11-6 next year. Who knows?
Now
Make the defense better though. Defense struggled a little bit towards the end. Now you had some guys hurt. I get it. Marshawn not being out
I'll
there.
say this: when it comes to
trading him.
when it comes to Dennis, you really never seen, like, in New Orleans at least, his defense completely slipped to being like, hey, bro, like, they're bad right now.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being the case, he's obviously doing something right, but we got to get some offensive minds in there to kind of get that thing really going.
No doubt, and they're working on that.
Yeah.
All right,
They're working on it. We're going to get it fixed.
we'll see. We'll get it fixed.
Get
We'll
it
see if we get
fixed.
it. We'll see if we get it fixed. All right. Curtain call is brought to you by our friends at Assured Partners.
And
Me.
Yep.
What we got?
I'm going to go with, I'll start this thing off. I'm going to give a curtain call to, because they are a much, 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 much better fan than I am. I'm going to give it to the Kansas City Chiefs fans. Apparently, it's been reported that there was dozens of calls and about 15 fans that were hospitalized after the Dolphins-Chiefs game. Calls that were reported to hypothermia and frostbite.
Wow.
All to see them beloved Chiefs, baby.
Wow.
Hey, you're a better fan than me.
They won though.
So my
At least you
curtain
got the
call
W.
is to you, and I hope you can get back to being room
Hope you don't have the dead fingers.
Let's get you back to room temperature and
Yeah.
some feel. Because
Well, that's
that ain't
tough.
what you want to be.
I ain't doing that.
Hypothermia and frostbite for a football game. Boy, you better get
I
out
ain't
of
going.
here.
I ain't going out there.
When do you think that they're like, I think I'm going to get, and they have hypothermia? Like, how were you, like, third quarter? I got to stick it out, though. Like, I'm already sick, whatever.
Probably. You probably couldn't feel anything at the time either, so
Hey,
you
yo,
didn't
no, it's
realize.
Been cold.
Oh, my finger's purple and numb. Whatever.
That's crazy.
I'll
to
deal
me.
with it. I'll deal with it after
That's
the game.
crazy to me.
That's tough. Yeah, what you got, Lloyd?
My curtain call is to the new Arizona head coach. This is him whenever he was in college. I think his brother was on the team, but they found this shot of him. He was just announced as the head coach, replacing Jeff Fish. But here he is in the middle with his brother in the back of Arizona, just living up,
That's awesome.
being at Arizona, absolutely loves it.
Sounds like that's one that knows the culture.
No doubt. That's awesome.
And then he gets to go be the head coach. So don't tell me that's
That's
not a
pretty
dream
cool.
job.
Yeah, that's pretty cool right there. You know what's not pretty cool is this lead now 8 points.
You did this. I've already
I don't love it.
considered it a loss.
My curtain call, it is January 17th. January 17th is my wedding date, which means today is our anniversary.
What were you
Big
doing?
anniversary, boy.
How many years?
This is our 4 year anniversary.
years
Yeah,
off
made
the
4
shelf.
years. It's been a great 4 years. We have gone through some things.
Can't wait for 4 more.
we're going through some things, and we're getting better, and we're always going to be better. We're going to get better for it. And love my wife. Very happy that we were able to make it through 4. Hopefully make it through 40 more after this.
Why not 44 more?
Or 44.
444 more.
You know what?
The way
Modern medicine.
In theory, just in theory.
I think I got to make some more money to be able to do that, to be able to afford to be able to live to 450 years old. But
No, you'll still be working.
no doubt.
It is brought to you by Assured Partners.
Why sure we should be doing this show? Looking the exact same.
Yeah. Do you know what the for your wedding
Benjamin Button.
anniversary gift is?
What is it?
Fruit or flowers.
Oh, I got her flowers.
There you go.
And I mean, among other things, but flowers was in there.
There you go.
What's the 5th year?
Let's see. They start getting expensive.
Boy, it's a 6-point lead. God dang it! Shit.
Wood.
Oh no! Call timeout. Oh, they got it in. You got a score here, boys.
There's so much time left when you try to call this thing as 2 wins.
I didn't call it. Great take. I didn't say anything about a win. I just said, yeah.
You said Matt Man starts off 3-1.
No, I didn't say that.
Got a huge win against A&M. Now he gets his first huge
That
home
would
win.
be big. It would be huge.
Now the opposite
It's a big
would not
stop
be
here.
great.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh, he just jammed it home in his face.
Huh?
What?
Oh.
Down 6. Was that? What time's a 5?
5:12 left. You have 5, like 5:08.
Oh! Bucket. Did he count? That's got to be an and 1, right? Yes, it is. It's a big move right there.
Jalen Cook.
Jalen Cook's a
dog.
difference maker, dude.
That's why right there.
He's a difference maker.
Steady as she goes.
You have a guy who can dish it out, who can facilitate the offense, but you also have a guy who can score when you need it. You got 2 scorers actually now, him and Wright.
Mm-hmm. And you got Mike Williams doing what he's supposed to do.
Yep.
And Trey Hannibal's still out there just bowling ball.
Bowling ball.
Might get some carries this year.
No doubt. That'd be great. Maybe put him in the secondary. Put him as safety.
God, he looked like Chiron Carey.
Come in
And
hot.
dads.
Coming in hot. He's better than Chiron Carey.
He's got to be a little taller.
He's 5'10", I think.
Yeah, probably just in the Lance amongst giants. What was Chiron, like 5'6"?
Are y'all for real right now?
Yeah, he ain't playing football. He is 225 pounds, though.
Yeah, that's what Chiron was.
If Chiron's 5'6".
He was awesome. Give me hope.
All right. That's all we got for you today. Again, apologize. We'll be back live in studio on Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate our love and support. We'll be back on Friday. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Stay warm. Please do us a favor and click the thumbs up
Join
button.
us Sunday.
Join us Sunday.
Call me if you have my number, if you haven't heard from me.
Yeah, I will
Keep
call
me
you.
on track.
I will be calling you. Listen to me. That is, you got to
Just
be
make
there.
sure you bring your charger with you. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, I usually don't.
I know, but be there.
Who does that?
All right. We appreciate you. We'll see you on Friday. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Sorry.
Peace. I am sorry.